Imagine standing at the edge of space, higher than commercial airplanes, weather balloons, and even most military aircraft have ever flown. Below you stretches the curved horizon of Earth, wrapped in a thin blue atmosphere. Above you is the darkness of space. There is no engine, no wings, and no parachute deployment yet. Only a pressure suit and one impossible decision. Then, after a final deep breath, you step forward into the greatest freefall in human history. This extraordinary achievement became reality on October 14, 2012, when Austrian skydiver Felix Baumgartner completed the Red Bull Stratos mission. Lifted by a giant helium balloon to an altitude of 38,969 meters, Baumgartner jumped from the edge of space, becoming the first person to break the sound barrier using only his body. His mission combined years of scientific research, engineering, and fearless determination, capturing the attention of millions of people around the world. The ascent itself lasted more than 2 hours. Suspended beneath an enormous helium balloon, Baumgartner slowly climbed through Earth's atmosphere inside a specially designed capsule. As he rose higher, the sky gradually changed from bright blue to a deep indigo before becoming almost completely black. At that altitude, the atmosphere is so thin that the sky resembles outer space, and the Earth below appears as a magnificent curved sphere. Every system inside the capsule was carefully monitored, because even a minor equipment failure could have been fatal. Stepping outside the capsule was perhaps the most psychologically difficult moment. There was no familiar feeling of standing on solid ground. Instead, Baumgartner stood on a tiny platform nearly 39 kilometers above Earth's surface. Temperatures outside dropped to approximately -70 degrees Celsius, -94 degrees Fahrenheit, while atmospheric pressure was so low that exposure without a pressure suit would cause bodily fluids to boil. His specially designed pressure suit functioned as a miniature spacecraft, supplying oxygen, maintaining pressure, and protecting him from the harsh environment. Before jumping, Baumgartner looked down at the Earth below and delivered one of the most memorable lines in aviation history. Sometimes you have to go up really high to understand how small you are. Moments later, he leaned forward and pushed himself away from the capsule. Unlike a normal skydive, there was almost no sensation of rushing air during the first seconds, because the atmosphere was incredibly thin. Instead of feeling strong wind resistance, he simply accelerated downward under the pull of gravity. As he descended, his speed increased dramatically. With so little air resistance at extreme altitude, gravity accelerated him to an astonishing 1,357.6 kilometers per hour, approximately Mach 1.25, making him the first human to exceed the speed of sound without an aircraft or spacecraft. Breaking the sound barrier is usually associated with fighter jets producing loud sonic booms, but because the air at that altitude was extremely thin, Baumgartner experienced little of the violent shockwave one might imagine. Despite the success, the jump was not without danger. Shortly after leaving the capsule, Baumgartner entered a dangerous flat spin, rotating rapidly as he fell. During the spin, he reached rotational speeds that could have caused unconsciousness or even death due to excessive G-forces. Fortunately, he remained conscious, stabilized his body, and regained control before the situation became catastrophic. Mission controllers later admitted that these tense moments represented one of the greatest risks of the entire mission. As Baumgartner descended into denser layers of the atmosphere, air resistance gradually increased. His speed naturally decreased below the speed of sound, and he transitioned into a more familiar skydiving posture. After approximately 4 minutes and 19 seconds of freefall, he deployed his parachute at about 2,500 meters, 8,200 feet, above the ground. The parachute opened perfectly, allowing him to glide safely toward the New Mexico desert below. His total descent lasted about 9 minutes, ending with a smooth landing that completed one of the most remarkable achievements in aviation history. Millions of viewers watching the live broadcast erupted in celebration as Baumgartner calmly removed his helmet and confirmed that he was safe. The mission demonstrated not only extraordinary human courage, but also provided valuable scientific data about high-altitude emergency escape systems, pressure suits, and human physiology in near-space conditions. The Red Bull Stratos mission also pushed technological boundaries. Engineers developed a capsule capable of surviving near-space conditions, designed one of the most advanced pressure suits ever created for a civilian, and constructed a helium balloon larger than many sports stadiums. Every component had to function flawlessly because there was no possibility of rescue at such extreme altitude. The mission required years of testing, simulation, and collaboration among scientists, aerospace engineers, physicians, and experienced pilots. Although Baumgartner set several world records during the jump, some were later surpassed. In 2014, Google executive Alan Eustace jumped from an even higher altitude of 41,422 meters, setting new records for the highest freefall jump and highest parachute jump. However, Baumgartner remains the first human to break the sound barrier in freefall, a milestone that continues to distinguish his achievement in the history of human flight. Beyond the records, the jump inspired millions of people worldwide. It demonstrated how determination, scientific innovation, and meticulous preparation can make seemingly impossible dreams become reality. The image of a lone human standing at the edge of space before stepping into the unknown has become one of the defining photographs of modern exploration. It serves as a reminder that humanity's greatest achievements often begin with a willingness to take calculated risks in pursuit of knowledge and progress. More than a decade later, the Red Bull Stratos mission remains one of the most iconic moments in aerospace history. It was not merely a stunt or an extreme sport. It was a carefully planned scientific expedition that expanded our understanding of high-altitude survival and emergency escape technology. Felix Baumgartner's leap from the edge of space stands as a symbol of human curiosity, courage, and the relentless desire to push beyond known limits, proving that sometimes the biggest leap forward begins with a single step into the sky.